Good morning, beginning farmer friends. Good morning, 4430. I wonder if you're going to want to start today. It is -8 degrees right now. I really would like to start the 4430 today. I'm going to wait till it warms up though. The high this afternoon around 3 o'clock is supposed to be -2. Oh my goodness, it's going to be freezing cold. I'll be completely honest with you, I am amazed at how well the baby chicks are doing. They are doing really well. The Freedom Rangers are really starting to outpace the egg layers as far as growth and size, which is completely expected because they're a meat bird bred to put on weight as fastly as possible, being a slow growing bird. The only problem that I had, and this was the first time that I had it actually, was the waters all froze overnight. I've been putting the waters, like I have one right here, typically under this heat lamp. That one froze overnight. I have some under this Hoover. Those actually stayed thawed, so those are still a good place for water, but the couple that I have right up against this Hoover, they froze solid last night. So I'm going to take those waters in, set them by the wood stove, and get those thawed out. But the chicks still have water out here. They are still doing really good. We have one more night of this. I mean, we're going to have some more below zero, but tomorrow is supposed to hit -21 in the morning. That's right, -21 degrees Fahrenheit. Thankfully and luckily, Tony the Tiger here is taking care of everyone. These chicks are doing good. I think we're gonna make it. Tomorrow's gonna be the coldest day, and from there, by this weekend, we'll be in the 30s again. I have no fears when we're in the 30s. We'll be going good. Honestly, if it wasn't for all this squeaky snow on the ground right now, I would think, spring could be around the corner, but we've got a good foot of snow or more in places around here because it's just been snowing as it's been cold this past week. We've got flurries almost every day, and it's really starting to pile up. Let's get in somewhere warm though and continue a discussion. Before we go any further, I do need to offer a sincere apology to my wife, to my children, to my dear friends in the Dominican Republic, and to the people of Alaska. I have often stated that I would love to move to Alaska to live in a cabin in the wilderness of Alaska. I don't think I'm tough enough. I honestly thought I could do it. I don't know, a week of below zero temperatures, and I'm getting soft. Oh, I am so sorry to my dear wife. I'm so sorry, kids. I don't know if I can do it. I know it was a dream maybe you shared with me. To my friends in the Dominican Republic who have been sending me your temperatures over the past week, yes, I get it. I cannot handle the cold, and it is very warm and nice where you are. Now that we've got that out of the way, I want to talk about building projects. This goes back to that poll I put up last week about what to talk about when it was freezing cold, and today it is getting to be the freezing coldest. So I want to talk about some of the building projects that, if money were no option, that I would tackle on the farm. I wish I could come up, or maybe I hope I can come up with a way to make some of these projects happen. Let me get to town and maybe we'll show you a little bit what I'm talking about. Now, be sure of this, when I am talking about these projects that I want to get done, I am not including the shed project, the shop and the walk-in freezer, all of that stuff. That's going to get done. That is not an option. That needs to get done. These are projects that I want to do beyond that. And the first one is one that has really been on my mind for, well, almost 10 years, probably a little bit more. In fact, I'm looking right now at a blog post that I did on Monday, December 17th, 2012, where I talk about winter farrowing. Huts and hay is what I call it. And in this particular blog post, I am talking about the farrowing options that Jude Becker does at Becker Lane Farms. Now, Becker Lane Organics is a farm in northeast-ish Iowa. It is a little bit colder up there, and this picture that I'm showing you right now is their outdoor farrowing process. And what they have is they have 2 bales of hay or straw, 2 big square bales of hay or straw on the either side of what are British huts. I can't remember, the booth maybe is the name of the huts that they use. I believe they're an insulated farrowing hut, and they have on either side of these huts, they have this bale of straw, and then across the front they have a hot wire, and then they just bring feed and water into each of those pens. If you look on the back side side. Right back here, it looks like they have some stacks of cornstalk bales or round straw bales or something like that to kind of block the wind. But this is where they farrow outside. Now, this wasn't the only thing that he did for farrowing outside. If I go over to this one right here, in 2004, he did a study on a farrowing greenhouse. His farrowing greenhouse was pretty fancy. As you can see in this picture right here, he's got pigs in huts, just, modified A-frame huts. He's got some straw in there, nothing on the front of the hut. But if I go back up here, you'll see this boiler right here. And this farrowing building, if I go back down here, was heated in the floor. So on the back of each of these huts, there was, kind of a creep area, and that was heated with in-floor heating. He did not have great success with this building for farrowing. In fact, I think he doesn't use it for farrowing. Well, I can't say this for sure, but I know way back when he quit using it for farrowing, he used it to grow pigs, small pigs in, and he was farrowing in those huts like I showed you earlier, and was having success doing that. I always thought that I would have a problem doing the huts that are like this outside because I was worried about mud. Now, of course, right now when it's -2 degrees, we wouldn't have to worry about mud, but this Saturday it's going to be 35 degrees. We would have to worry about mud, and it just seemed like a bad situation to be tracking mud from in front of those huts into those huts. So what I want to build is a greenhouse. I don't have a lot of great pictures, but if you look at this picture over here on the right, this I believe is Dan Wilson's Swedish style greenhouse or Gothic style greenhouse. It's not a complete hoop. It kind of comes to a small point at the top. And if you look closely at the top of it, there is a radiant tube heater. Now he does not have concrete over the whole thing. He's got a little concrete pad or 2 little concrete pads. In fact, I think I've got the layout right here. He has 2 concrete pads at the front of it, one for a waterer and one for a self-feeder or a feed trough. And then he can put 6 A-frame huts per side in this building. If I look over here, I'm trying to remember, yeah, the building is 32 feet wide by 54 feet long. He can put 12 huts in it. And I have talked to Dan. I know Dan personally, and he absolutely loved farrowing in this building. This greenhouse style, like we see right here in this picture, and then here's Dan down with some baby pigs after they've removed the huts in that same building, is exactly what I want to build. It has wood walls on the sides right here, and then your pipes just go on top, just like my hoop building that I have right now. And that's what I would like to farrow in the future. The second thing that I would like to build is just basically another hoop house, but not for pigs, but just kind of for everything. This picture I'm showing you right here comes from Spantech Buildings. That's the type of building that we have for our hoop house, the brand of hoop house that we have. And this picture is just from their Facebook page. It looks like it shows a show pig operation with a bunch of 4-H kids, it looks like, working in this hoop building. They've got automatic water set up and individual pens or group pens for a variety of different pigs and a concrete floor in it. I don't necessarily want a concrete floor, but what I would really love to build is, say, a 30 by 50 something, about the same size as that greenhouse, hoop house that will become the winter area for our sheep and our cattle. And the reason that I want to build it is I want to be able to kind of like this, set up some pins at the back of it, maybe store some small square bales of hay or straw, so that if we have some animals that we need to put inside, we can bring them into an area that we can shut up very well. And it would be bigger than our 16 foot by 48 foot long lean-to that we have right now, which really just isn't big enough for what I want to be able to do, to have storage for feed and storage for livestock and lambing and just all the variety of things we may be doing. Those are the 2 buildings that I would absolutely love to build. Let me take you home now and show you where I would like to build them. It's gonna get cold though, because I'm gonna have to go outside. Before we talk about where we're gonna put stuff, let's see if the 4430 starts. I don't have extremely high hopes, but I am hopeful. Does that make sense? not gonna say it started like a champ, but it did start and I didn't have to use any ether, so that's a win. We're gonna let it warm up though. Yes, that's right. The other day when it was negative however many degrees, we had a lamb born. It's doing great though. It was just a single, which is a benefit being on such a cold day like that. I've actually taken it up to the barn a couple times, and I have a little barrel that I turn upside down and put a light in for it, but it doesn't go in there. I have it in a pen with its mom. So I just let it out today so it could get some fresh air, and then I'll put it back in tonight. The cattle and the sheep are doing all right, but the reason I'm out here is because I want to show you or talk about what I'm thinking for placing that hoop house out here. And honestly, what I'm thinking is either an east-west building somewhere in this area right over here. Oh, hi little calf. Little calf right over there is doing well as well. Everybody seems to be happy. I'm either thinking an east-west location right here in this area, which is the direction that our building is right now, and that's the direction that our hoop house is right now, or a north-south building this direction with a solid closed-in north end. That way you'd have wind protection from the east and from the west and from the north, and then we could have a door that we could shut on the front. I'm not 100% sure how I would like to lay that building out, if I can ever build that building. So if you've got any thoughts, put them down in the comments below. By the way, I haven't mentioned it for a little bit, I don't think, so like, subscribe, comment, all of that good stuff. Let's go show you where I want to put that greenhouse. A greenhouse sounds really nice right now. Oh, 44:30. You seem to be warming up well on this -3-degree afternoon. That's a good thing. Placing the greenhouse is really simple, honestly. I just want it to run parallel to the hoop house that we have right here. That way, if we want to move pigs between buildings, it's easy to do. Plus, we have infrastructure already right there, like electricity and water. So we would just set it up with a gap between the two right in that spot. Now for the craziness for the day. I've got the 44:30 running because I'm gonna go cut some firewood. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. I've been down to the woods a couple times over the past week and a half or so, and the snow is actually pretty deep down there, so I am going to hedge my bets, try to be smart here. I've got the chains on, of course, but I'm putting a bale on the back as well. That'll give me a little extra counterweight, and hopefully I can get a little closer to the tree that I've been cutting on. Just how cold is it outside? Well, it is so cold that there was a little water in my bar, between my bar and the chain, and I started my saw and it won't go. The chain is frozen to the bar. Okay, now let's go try it. This is actually something that I've never had happen before. This locust is really hard and there was a lot of friction and it started on fire. Oh my goodness. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys are having a great day wherever you are. I'm gonna grab some snow and put out my log fire here. Get this firewood loaded up and we'll get out of here.